The Time Machine by H.G. Wells. Every book in 10 minutes. Before 1895, time travel in stories happened by dream, by ghost, or by magic sleep. Then a young Englishman asked a new question. What if you could ride into the future, on purpose, with machinery? A saddle, 2 crystal levers, brass rails. He even coined the name. Every time machine you have ever seen, in any film or series, is a descendant of this one. H.G. Wells was a 28-year-old science teacher's assistant turned struggling journalist, coughing through bad health in rented rooms. He sold the time machine for £100, and it changed fiction. Wells called his inventions scientific romances, and he used them the way no one had before, as weapons of social criticism, dressed as adventure. It begins at a dinner party in Richmond. The host, known only as the time traveler, shows his guests a model that vanishes into thin air and a full-sized machine in his laboratory. Polite laughter. The next Thursday, he staggers in mid-dinner, filthy, limping, a half-healed cut on his chin, eyes hollow. He drinks 2 glasses of champagne and tells them where he has been. Part 1. The year 802,701. The ride is one of the great sequences in fiction. He presses the lever, and night follows day like the flapping of a black wing. The sun becomes a streak of fire, trees mushroom up and vanish, buildings rise like fog and melt away. The dials spin past thousands of years, then hundreds of thousands. When he breaks, the machine tumbles into the grass of the year 802,701. The future is a garden, soft air, strange flowers, no weeds, no fences, ruined palaces of marble scattered like old furniture. And looming over his arrival point, a huge weathered statue, a white sphinx on a bronze pedestal, staring at him with a faint, sick smile. Paradise, with something patient standing guard over it. He should have paid attention to the pedestal. The people of the future find him quickly. The Eloi, small, beautiful, dressed in silk, none taller than a child. They eat fruit, laugh, weave flowers, and lose interest in him within minutes, like toddlers with a new toy. No books, no tools, no questions. When he asks about the machine, they cannot even hold the thought. Humanity's great-grandchildren have the attention span of sunshine. The traveler builds his first theory on the spot. Humanity won, he decides. Science defeated disease, hunger and danger, and with nothing left to fight, strength and intelligence simply drained away. Comfort did what no catastrophe could. It is a neat theory, elegant and smug. The book lets him enjoy it for about 2 chapters. It is completely wrong. Part 2. What lives below. Then the time machine vanishes. The grass around the Sphinx shows drag marks, leading straight to the sealed bronze pedestal. Without the machine, he is not a traveler, he is a castaway, 800,000 years from home. And at night, in the ruins, he starts to notice things the sunshine hid. Pale shapes at the edge of vision and round wells dotting the landscape, humming faintly, going down into the dark. One morning, he saves a small Eloi woman from drowning while her friends watch with mild, useless interest. Her name is Weena, and she adopts him, follows him everywhere, sleeps beside him, fears the dark, and stuffs his pockets with flowers. In a book of vast, cold ideas, she is the one warm thing. Remember the flowers in his pocket, the book will end on them. The pale shapes have a name. Climbing down a well to find his machine, the traveler enters the underworld, tunnels, throbbing machinery, the smell of blood, and the Morlocks. White as grubs, big-eyed, chinless, perfectly at home in the dark. They keep the machines of the garden world running, and once a month, when the moon goes dark, they climb the wells. The Eloi's fear of the dark is not childish at all. And here is the book's thesis, delivered like a trapdoor. The Eloi and Morlocks are both human. The leisure class stayed in the sunlight until it decayed into pets. The working class, driven underground for generations, adapted to the dark, kept the machines, and eventually presented the bill. The Eloi are livestock now. Wells looked at the class system of 1895 and simply gave it time. Part 3. Fire and Darkness. Looking for weapons, he hikes with Weiner to a vast green porcelain palace on a hill, the ruin of a museum. Galleries of dinosaur bones, rusted machines crumbling to stumps, a library of books rotted to rags, the whole of human knowledge returned to dust. He salvages 3 things: a rusty iron mace snapped from a machine, a box of matches, and a lump of camphor. Fire, the oldest technology, is about to matter more than all the rest. Night catches them in the open woods, and the Morlocks come. He lights a fire to hold them back, then a second, and in the panic and smoke, the first fire spreads into the forest behind them. What follows is chaos, soft hands grabbing in the dark, the mace swinging, a wall of flame turning night into noon. When the burning night finally ends, the Morlocks are scattered, and Weiner is gone. Back at the Sphinx, the bronze pedestal stands open, and inside, polished and waiting, sits the time machine. He knows it is bait. He walks in anyway, because it is also the only exit. The panels slam, the dark fills with soft laughter and reaching hands, and he fumbles the levers on by touch as fingers close on him. The dials spin, the hands dissolve into 800,000 years of distance. Part 4. The end of everything. But instead of braking, he pushes forward, millions of years forward. The sun swells red and stops moving in the sky. On a dead beach by an oily sea, giant crabs pick at the silence. Further still, the last green slime dies. Snow drifts under a black eclipse, and the only sound on Earth is the wind. It is the bravest chapter in Victorian fiction, a tour of the end with no comfort offered at all. He returns to his dinner table 8 hours after he left, with nothing to show for 800 millennia. Except one thing. In his pocket, crushed and wilting, 2 large white flowers put there by Weiner. His friends choose not to believe him. The next morning, he loads the machine with a camera and a knapsack, promises to be back in half an hour, and is never seen again. The book's real target was its own decade's favorite idea, that evolution means improvement, that history is an escalator going up. Wells, trained under Darwin's great defender Thomas Huxley, knew better. Evolution has no direction, only fit and unfit. Split a society hard enough, for long enough, and it will not produce angels and devils. It will produce Eloi, and the things that eat them. And yet the narrator, holding those 2 dead flowers, refuses despair. Even when mind and strength had gone, he says, gratitude and tenderness still lived on in the heart. That is the note the book ends on. The universe does not care. Time will bury everything, and a small dead flower from a doomed friend still outweighs all of it. Science fiction was born knowing how to break your heart. Next time, a country dance, a rude rich man and the sharpest tongue in English literature. The love story that runs on dislike at first sight. Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Every book in 10 minutes.